me if it's a little noisy. I'm doing this on my drive to work, but after some recent local to me events going on, I feel like this needs to be talked about. And even my boy Fatty Westside did a video talking about it. It's pretty good. And not a lot of people want to hear it or talk about it. And I think that's a majority of the problems that we have, is that people don't want to talk about it. And what I'm going to get into here, and I know like you're going to think it's all painful and this and that and everything, and it's not. It's not, and it needs to be talked about, because I think men have issues with the way they see things and the way they should cope with things. And so men have an issue coping with things, and they think that being sad or depressed, especially in today's world, that it's some sort of weakness. And it's not. Understanding your strength comes from understanding what drives you. It's not about how you can deal with something or just shrug it off. Like, to be that resilient, think of it like going to the gym. Think of it like working out, getting stronger muscles. Your brain is the same. You're not born into this world with knowledge. It takes time, it takes experience. And that's how a lot of these men become mentally tough, is because they experience things. Even the best, because I know this is more of like a tactical guns channel, even Delta Force operators, Navy SEALs, special operators, right? Even them struggle. Like when they get back home, they're trained for the early part of their life, from their late teens to their mid to late 30s. They're primed to do this one skill set. That they have multiple jobs, so it's not just one job, but it's skill sets. And then when they're done, when the war's over, or when their duty is over, and they're medically retired, or they just choose to retire because their body, they can't handle it anymore. They can't handle the constant wear and tear on their body. And when they get back, they struggle with this. So yeah, you're not the only one that is struggling. And that's the thing. I think the problem and the reason why people end it is because they don't talk about it, because they withdraw and they clam up inside themselves. And that's a big part of the problem, is people don't talk about how they feel, because in today's age and the way things are, men can't be men anymore. We're not allowed to have masculinity. And when we do show a soft side, it's treated as a weakness, because women, I'm not hating on women or anything, but the softer people tend to tell us to man up and deal with it. But they don't want us to be overly masculine at the same time. Like, this is the problem. Like, it's driving men insane inside. Like, they can't talk about it because maybe they don't even know how to talk about it, or they're ashamed. They don't even know where to begin. And I think most men struggle with this. And if you don't, in this day and age, if you don't struggle with this stress of, like things driving down on you, the pressure, and if you don't have that drive, or you're just tired of it, you're tired of the vicious circle, or the Groundhog Day of it, so to speak. Good movie, you should check it out. Bill Murray is awesome. And you struggle with just all the pressures of, like, your family, supporting your family, taking care of your kids. You're having to work so much, so you miss, your kids' important parts of their lives. Like, you miss that ball game, or you're only able to make it to 1 or 2 a month, or it's different separate things like that just drive on you, and you're like, man, what is even the reason for being here? Like, all this that I do. And then you get that feeling of like, it's not good enough. You're constantly feeling like it's not good enough. and I'll touch base on it too. And it's like another exponential driver of that not feeling good enough is social media. Like social media, I've noticed, and whenever I talk about it, I'm not necessarily talking about YouTube. Like YouTube has its faults. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. I was very anti-YouTube for a long time, even though I still found myself coming back to see a lot of my favorite YouTubers' videos. But we'll talk about like Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter to a point. You know, I feel that Twitter is getting better, but it is not perfect by any means. But you couple all this with the algorithms are designed to get a reaction from you. And if all you're reacting to is this crazy shit that's going on in the world, well, the algorithm's going to chalk up and send you more crazy shit. I was talking with a buddy today, and I hope he's okay with me sharing this. I'm not going to share his personal story, but he deleted some of his social media because it was driving him nuts. The first thing he would do every morning, and I am guilty of this, especially before I've become more aware of it in the recent days. But I am guilty of this, is just waking up and scrolling on social media. And he would talk about, he would wake up and it would drive him nuts, the stuff he would see. And so you got to think about that. Like from the onset, the first freaking day, this guy, jackass, won't let me on. From the first of the day, the onset of waking up. I'm driving on the interstate, by the way. Sorry for the ADD. Maybe you Zoomers listen to this will get it. But think about this. From the first part of his day, he's waking up and he's already starting it all off wrong. And I came to this realization a few weeks ago. And so that's why when I wake up, the news is not much better, but I kind of expect it from the news. You know, like I don't know how to explain it. It's a little different when it's coming from something that you more or less expect it from. And so, you know, like you wake up and you just look on social media and you're in kind of one of those moods. And you're not thinking very highly of yourself. And we all go through this. Like, usually the more confident people have the most insecurities and struggles with this, that they just have to display the confidence. I'm not picking you apart. Like, whatever works for you, do it. As long as it's not hurting anyone else. And as long as it's not hurting you. Like, if it works and it gets you going and you achieve things and you're able to get that endorphin, do it. But what ruins those endorphins is whenever you open your eyes and you pick up that phone and you start scrolling Facebook or Instagram and you see how good all your buddies are doing. And you're depressed because you're withdrawn, because you don't feel like you're good enough to hang out with your buddies. You don't feel like you're good enough to be included because they're doing so well off. That's what I feel like. That's what a lot, I would dare to say 70% or more men are struggling with this. And it's disturbing. It's very disturbing that we're not able to talk about it because of this new age. And so that's the first thing you need to do. If you're finding this problem, is you need to just dump that social media for a while. You need to find something else. Like, you can even jump in. I'm not saying it's any better or any worse or anything like that, but you have to find what works for you. And a lot of things, like maybe start a small little Telegram group or jump on a good group about it, and just when you wake up, just say, "Good morning, world," and maybe even talk about what's going on. Like, yeah, I'm feeling down on myself because of such and such and such and such. And maybe it helps to talk to people, but I want you to understand that strangers on the internet are not your friend. So I know it's double-edged. It's fine to go and seek that affirmation. It's fine. That's completely okay. It's okay to just have that outlet, especially if you don't feel like you have a, friend, an in-person friend that that you physically know. That's fine. It takes baby steps. But I want you to build to that point of finding a friend like that. And then you may even build up to a point where you have multiple friends like that, where you can wake up, or even, your significant other, or whatever, or if it's somebody you're talking to, a female, just good morning, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to hit them with the heavy stuff if it's a female, and if it's just in its infancy of friendship or whatever with, another male or whatnot. But just good morning, hope all is well, because that's the thing that I think about and I look back on life is, and especially like getting older, you learn that people around you are going to die. You learn that. You learn that everybody has a time limit on this world. And the more you start to understand that, it seems like, and it's very morbid, but it seems like that's when time starts speeding up. Time starts passing faster. And so every day you open your eyes, you need to give thanks for being able to open your eyes. No matter whether it's God or anything else that you may believe in. Or if you don't believe in anything, you need to give thanks to whatever, the universe or whatever, like for opening your eyes and not being killed or dying or passing in your sleep. You need to wake up and give thanks to that. That's one of the... If you wake up being grateful and thankful, like, I opened my eyes again today to experience, like, I'm driving to work right now making this, so yeah, it's going to be sub-quality, but the sun's just coming up, and it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, riding down the road to work. I'm not, I'm even running a little late. I'm not worried about it. I'm not. Because I know that whatever happens, I'll find my way. I always do. I'm not beholden to anything. And that's part of that you feel as weakness is because you feel chained. You feel restricted. You feel jailed. Even though you have some freedoms, you feel jailed. And you're not. You need to understand that the most powerful weapon in this world isn't an M4, isn't an M1 Abram. It's your mind. That's what you need to understand, that you can sit here and train all this other stuff, but the true thing that you're training is your mind. The tactics, whatever, the draw speed, your mind is commanding that. And it's all in what your mind is able to do. And so you must remember at the end of it all, your brain is most important. Your mind is most important. So if it needs a little time, it needs a little downtime, you give it a little downtime. If you need to grieve, if you need to let it cry out, it's not weakness. You need that reset. Just reset. Just allow it. Your brain's telling you. It's your subconscious. Just allow it to reset. It's okay. It's not making you any less of a man. You'll find that once you do this, once you allow that reset to happen, you'll find that you're getting a second wind, and you'll almost feel stronger than you did before. You'll feel like, oh, all this weight has been lifted. And if you're religious, if you believe in Jesus, if you believe in God, then give your weight into that. I'm not an atheist or anything like that, or agnostic, so I can't really guide you what to do on that, but at the same time, allowing yourself some grief and allowing yourself to let some things go, it's okay. It's okay to do. That you're going to need to get a reset in every now and then. If things are bearing down on you or whatever, find that outlet. And like I said, as long as it's not harming anyone or harming yourself, then do it. Get into the gym. But don't allow the social media endorphins, to run your life. Like, go out and get real endorphins. I'm having a problem pronouncing that this morning. But, it's like artificial food. Your body, your mindset, and everything runs on these endorphins. And you're giving yourself, via porn or whatever, you're giving yourself fake artificial endorphin boosts. Versus like getting the ones by going out and accomplishing something, even if it's a little goal, even if it's one little thing like mowing your yard or whatever, like you've just been putting it off. It's like when you get done, you feel so much better. Or any other little goal, or hitting that new press record from working out. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go out and do it. And don't allow yourself, to be taken over by these artificial endorphin boosts. It's okay to enjoy it in small times, but you might need to spend a few months away from it just to get that reset. And interact with real, living, breathing people. We're getting into this age like you don't even know if the other person on the end of that keyboard is even real anymore, because we have all this artificial intelligence, and we don't want to go down that sad way of life. That is very sad. That you have all these people around you that you can interact with, but you choose to interact with a robot, essentially. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, touch grass. Get out, touch grass. This weekend, whatever, go on a trail and hike. Even if it's 30 minutes, even if it's an hour, get that reset in. All right, y'all, take care.